All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. Amazon Kindle Create Space. Why society doesn't blame fathers. You know, when you look at these videos, or sometimes I see videos of kids getting reprimanded by society, whether they be in schools or kids fighting, kids getting checked, or the constant kids posting a lot of shit that kids that are out of line are doing. And in some ways, people are like, yeah, that kid don't have a father in their life. But the tone of it isn't like back in the day where, you know, that deadbeat dad. It's more so we know why that kid ain't got no discipline, because that kid's raised by a mother. And I'm gonna touch on why the energy is shifted. It's not that fathers are considered necessarily deadbeats anymore, or rolling stones, or just people who just popped up, had a baby, and left. Like, that's not the makeup of the modern day father as it was in the past. That stereotype doesn't stick anymore, because of all of the things that people have seen in their own lives, witnessed through technology and through the media, of how the family court system works and how society works along with the family court system, how law enforcement works with it. So what I mean by that is, mother's words aren't taken anymore as truth, because mother's out here saying, you know, the father's not involved in the child's life, but people are looking at these mothers skeptical, because, like, so when that father calls, do you block the phone call? When that father comes by, do you answer the door? When that father tries to speak to that child, do you call the police? You know, are you one of those? Because you could be one of those people that say one thing to me in public and do another thing in private. And what happens is, a lot of people have had these interactions with these mothers, and they see them say one thing and do another. And we have a generation of adults that are like my age and younger, who remember being told one thing as kids and grow up and see it completely differently. So there's a lack of consistency. So where there's a lack of consistency, not just consistency but honesty, the shift goes from the deadbeat dad to the deadbeat mother who was playing games, because the games are starting to have been taken into consideration. Like the parenting aspect is taken into full context now, and women aren't looked at the same, because you got mothers who are using their child to get Social Security benefits. That's how all these kids wind up with all these allergies and all these issues and this and that. And you're like, that's a normal kid, but you see them playing the system. You got, you know, these kids who are very manipulative, and you're like, where do they get this trait from? And then you see the mother seems like they got it together in public, and then you catch them doing some manipulative shit, and it's like, oh, that's you. You know, and then you got the kids who are lacking discipline, and you're like, why this kid don't never act right? And then you're looking around like, I get it now, because you're seeing the habits that are being passed down. And on top of that, it's not just society looks at fathers different. It's not just the treatment from the family court system to the single mother towards the father. It's also the treatment that these families found out, because that extended family, those other grandparents, those other aunts and uncles, those other cousins start to look at it like, all right. And as many people who are on this side of the fence with mothers can see it from this perspective when they have a son and the son's a father, or even, and this happens in your own family, when you see, when you have a daughter playing games, and then you have a son who's getting games played on, them. So because, and you can include welfare and all that with it, and all the legal practices. But when you look at this shit in totality, you start to say, if all of the rules are skewed to your favor and you still manipulating the rules, then you're to blame. And when people go, where's the father? People go like, I ain't trying to hear that shit, because when it's convenient, it's the father's fault. But when you're doing the shit, it's you. That's why it's like that. Peace.